Welcome back. This is the Scott Nagy Show. Good evening, and welcome back here to Huber Heights. I'm Chris Collins, along with Coach Jim Brown, and of course, Coach Scott Nagy. And right now, the Raiders, after the first 4 games in Horizon League play, sit atop of the league at 4-0, along with their next opponent, the Norse of Northern Kentucky, at 4-0. They meet at Thursday night at 7 o'clock down in the Cincinnati area. The Raiders have won 5 consecutive games, 12-5 overall, and come off a sweep this weekend on the road. First at Detroit, and then at Oakland. And an exciting, thrilling game in overtime yesterday. And Coach Nagy, I know you and Coach Brown and everybody on the entourage, with the exception of myself, a little tired. Had a little bus issue last night. Didn't get home till late at night. The bus went down as soon as you were leaving the Oakland University campus. But you got home. But it feels good, though, to get these wins, especially on the road. I know you're really excited. And someone told me at the end of the game that was this the first time, because in the Summit League, South Dakota State, you played there in Oakland many times. First win in that building?
You know, I mean, I think so. I guess I don't sit there and count that. I'm not overly concerned by it. Some people make a bigger deal out of that than it should be. But, Oakland's always good. They're hard to beat at home. And so, it shouldn't be surprising that you get a first win on the road in some of those places, because they've always been very good.
Yeah, it was an exciting game yesterday. I know Coach Brown, during that game, it just had that feel, because this team shows so much resiliency. I was talking to some people afterwards with Oakland and the broadcasters, and they said, in their terms, they said they have a lot of dog in them. You guys just don't, when you get down, you just don't give up, and you just fight till the end. And Cole Gentry hit that big jumper, sent it to overtime, and outplayed Oakland in that overtime period.
Yeah, and I said after the game that, even had we not won, I'd have been very pleased with the players. I think that they're starting to really believe that they can win every game that they're in, and they play that way. They're starting to play with confidence. We talked about earlier in the season, players play the way they view themselves, and a team plays the way it views itself. And right now, our kids, you can tell, really believe that they can win every game.
Yeah, you said that every game, even the first 3 games when the team, lost 0-3 early on. You said, I really believe in these guys. I need for them to believe in themselves. When did you start to see that?
Oh, I think it was, even back when we kind of went on that road trip, we won that game at Toledo. And even though even at Missouri State, even though we didn't play very well, we played hard. I mean, we played hard in that game. And like I said, we missed our last 21 shots in the Missouri State game. We lost by 16 and should have lost by 40, but our kids played hard. And then obviously, it just continued from there, winning the Georgia Tech and going in. So I think when we went on the road and won at Toledo is kind of when it started.
Yeah, well, you've had a lot of players show a lot of, and everybody's contributed, and you look at yesterday's game, some guys might get into foul trouble, whatever, but somebody's always there to pick somebody else up. And, I got to talk about it. People don't know that Loudon Love, for the 3rd time this year now, is the Freshman of the Week in the Horizon League. And I was talking to some people afterwards, and I said, not only should he have been the Freshman of the Week, he should have been the Player of the Week, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know how that works. Maybe they think because he's going to get Freshman of the Week, they don't give him Player of the Week. But holy cow, I mean, the number of rebounds and points and just how he was at the center of everything for 2 games. I mean, I'm just shocked that he wasn't Player of the Week.
You look at the intensity with what he plays out there and that's what you want to see from him. But something that I thought was amazing is continued work on his free throws. He was 7 for 7 from the line yesterday, barely touched iron on all of them.
He's worked hard. He really has worked hard at it, and it looks a lot better. And I think that if he can do that, I guess I don't expect him to go 7 for 7, but if he can be in the 60s, then it's going to be much harder for teams just to think that they can just waste a foul.
It was an intense game. It was for both teams, it was very physical. Referee kind of like a Big Ten game, guys going at each other. And I would think Loudon kind of likes a game like that where it's very physical. In the game, though, we really had a situation there.
Yeah, I think that the game was physical. I thought they let both teams play. I wasn't going to spend a lot of time talking to officials,
right?
Because I saw just as many opportunities where it looked like maybe we could have fouled and they didn't call it. And so, I mean, that's fine. Let's play on, and I'm okay with that as long as they're consistent. I felt like they were, and so it just is. I think and I think Greg said this after the game. It probably wasn't to their benefit that the officials let it go that way, because obviously Loudon's a very physical player and can be. Now he hasn't always been, but he was this weekend.
You look at his line; it's just amazing. 25 points, 17 rebounds, 5 blocks. He also had 2 steals in that game. It's just amazing how he played all weekend long.
their inside player, Hayes, he's always given us problems. I mean, he's a senior now, and he's been a very difficult guard. At least I thought, you started Parker on him. And
Parker got in a little bit of foul trouble, and then Loudon ended up on him, and Loudon shut him down.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
He made it hard to catch, and Loudon really did a good job on it because I think he started 2 for 2,
he
and
did.
he ended up 4 for 17.
2 easy shots, yes.
So he went 2 for 17 or 2 for 15 on his next 15 shots.
And the neat thing is Loudon got him frustrated big time. I mean, just got him frustrated, and they couldn't put him on Loudon because they didn't want to get him in foul trouble, so they put.
And that was a problem for him too because he had to guard Everett on the perimeter, and it's generally, he's not used to guarding somebody that can put it on the floor and drive, and I think he struggled to guard Everett too.
There was a huge play in that game. In fact, I said something to Everett last night when we stopped at the truck stop on the way home. That I don't know. I'm sure you coached this, but I also think it was an instinctive play made by him. The score, we had a 2-point lead. It was under a minute to go. We were going to have to shoot the ball. And Cole Gentry had the ball, and he drove baseline. And you can watch. I watched the game last night on the bus. We had 3.5 hours. So I watched that repeat of the game. And you can see Everett's clear over on the left side, but as Cole starts to drive on the baseline, here comes Everett to try to find an open spot.
Yeah, he made a tremendous cut. And, for Everett, because he's not a spot-up shooter, he's more of a slasher and a cutter. I mean, when guys put it on the floor – because generally people are sagging in off of him and helping, and when the ball goes on the floor, his defender generally watches the ball and doesn't pay attention to him, and he does a great job of cutting. And that was a great cut and a great pass by Cole.
Well, that's just using your basketball brain because that's just a smart play. Smart players do stuff like that, and that's what I said that to him after the game. And he's struggled a little bit offensively, but boy, in the overtime, he was something else.
Well, and he got the free throw line 7 times, and he was aggressive. It was kind of, the Everett that we had at the beginning of the season that was aggressive off the bounce is I think what we saw yesterday. The other guy we didn't talk about after the game, though, was Mark Hughes. I didn't realize, and he always does this.
He's the quiet assassin.
I didn't even know he scored 10 points, and I look and he had 19 points.
Same
he
here.
had 5 assists, no turnovers, and 5 steals.
And he had big baskets, Coach.
And, he guarded their best player who
Kendrick
took
Nunn.
31 shots and did a great job, didn't foul him. He took 31 shots, scored 32 points, and so we really made him work for those points.
Sometimes it's not the number of points that you score, but it's the baskets you make when you have to have them. And I think of that one basket that Mark Hughes made opposite our bench.
The three-point shot we were down 2 and he put us up 1.
Yes. That's just a huge, huge play. And, he wouldn't have taken that shot a year ago.
No. He was 1 for 6 from 3, so it wasn't like he was shooting the ball really well. But he hit that. That was a big shot and a big moment for sure.
In a number of times, he was taking the ball inside. He wasn't afraid. He drove the ball to the basket on many occasions in that game.
Yeah, he had a great play there to start the overtime. Got that 3-point play. Really, just is under control and so efficient. To be able to get 19 points and really, he's not 100%. His ankle's still bothering him.
You talk about the play of everybody. It was, again, another team effort in this game, but Parker Ernsthausen hit some big buckets when you needed. He looks
he was very good. He got in some foul trouble in the first half, which limited his minutes, but he stepped into that 3, made that 3 because he knew they weren't going to guard him. That's how they've played him ever since he's been here, and he scored 22 on him last year at our place, and he knew he was going to get some open shots, and he made them.
Cole Gentry, do you feel like he's transitioning now into the player that you thought he would be?
Cole's starting to make some shots, which is really making him hard to guard. Because you can't go under ball screens, and he does a nice job of hesitating, gets people jumping at him, and keeps his dribble and attacks. And I think with the kind of the ball screen action that we have with Loudon and him is really hard to guard, particularly if you can't go under those ball screens.
All right, we got some highlights from both games. We're going to start first with the game Friday against Detroit Mercy, and then we'll go transition right into the Oakland game. So there we go, Coach. I know it's nice to talk about games when you win them.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, Grant, I tell you, Grant got so many great shots early in that game. And like Coach, we talked about, I looked up and at one point we had 5 guys in the game. Nobody else had scored. And he had 16 points. And he just got a bunch of great shots. And, Detroit had struggled defensively. We knew they were very good offensively. And so I thought we did a good job controlling the pace of the game, getting good shots, good back cut there, and a good pass. just good ball movements you can see there, and Grant just walks into another three.
It's like they didn't know he was a good shooter. I mean, they just the first 4 shots he got, there was nobody near him.
Yeah, we were, we've been running some different stuff for him. Obviously, I mean, Grant has just gotten to the point, he missed those 6 weeks start the season. I feel like he's just starting to get back to what he was last year. He's really starting to rebound the ball now. There's Cole. Yeah, there's Cole making a big three for us in the second half. This game got a little squirrely in the second half, and they got it at their pace for sure. The one thing we didn't do in this game, we did not rebound the ball very well, and that was the thing that bothered me the most.
Some transition defense also, they got some easy buckets.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you're not going to offense rebound, then you should get back, and we didn't do either one.
Some of it was our shot selection.
And that was such a great play by Loud. I mean, for a kid 270 pounds to turn the ball over and then turn around and steal it, and
he's probably more proud
play.
of that than scoring a dunk.
Oh yeah.
Their player that got hurt when he and
Chapman.
Didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, Chapman didn't play in the game against Northern Kentucky. I don't know if he got a concussion out of the deal or what it was.
Yeah, they said it was a concussion. Whether you call it where they got to let it go for a while.
Protocol.
Yeah, protocol.
Yeah, I know he took a pretty good cut. It's always bad when you get the foul and you're the one who got cut. That happened to Grant in that game also. To start the second half, he got the foul and got cut in the head.
Game got close here at this point. Under 6 minutes to play.
Yeah, it did, and we just gave him way too many easy buckets, but that was a heck of a good play by Cole and Loudon, to make that cut, and Loudon ends up getting that dunk.
They didn't want to get in his way.
No. Here we are against Oakland. I thought, we got up to a very good start here, which is I think is a big key with Oakland, because if they get you down early, they really put the foot on you. And, I thought that our guys did a good job of taking care of the ball early. Now, we didn't late, and we still ended up with 20 turnovers, which is way too many. It's Grant with another big three.
They did a good job on Grant. They really hounded him.
They know
on
he
the
can
perimeter.
shoot. Yeah.
There's a play we run, I don't know, maybe once every 2 games, and it's for Loudon, but Mark ended up getting a layup out of it. I thought offensively, it felt a little more. I felt a little more comfortable. Like I just didn't need to call set every time in this game. I think particularly with Cole.
Great pass.
That was a very good pass by Justin. I just didn't need to call set every time down, and we were able to kind of just to play off Cole and Loudon's ball screens.
I think one thing you and your staff have done amazingly well is manage your minutes. I mean, you really have done a great job of keeping kids fresh, and it's a blessing when you watch a guy fly by.
Yeah, it was such a big shot from Cole, and the play was designed to go for 2. We were trying to get a quick 2, but if you can get a 3 out of it, you take it. And Cole was certainly ready to take that shot.
Wow.
And I probably should have called timeout when we made that. And then they put this kid in to win the jump ball, and they didn't get it.
It's a classic. He doesn't get the jump, and then watch what happens here.
Yeah,
he fouls.
He ends up fouling,
and then he goes out.
Yeah, he
played 5 seconds.
Yeah, there were 45 minutes
and
of the game.
And then back to 2 plays.
Yeah.
Played 5 seconds and
overtime, and that was it.
Yeah, and that it was probably a big key for us to win in overtime that Brock wasn't in the game, and so we were able to get at the rim and get some of those shots like that.
Just seemed after Cole hit that 3-pointer to send it to overtime, the team really confident. You could see, at least in their eyes, that they said, we're going to win this game.
Yeah, it's tough, and I've been on the other side of that. There's that pass by Cole to Everett, for that to put us up 4, but when you have the lead like that and the other team hits that shot, when you kind of feel like you have the victory, and then all of a sudden it's kind of taken out of your hands, and you go into that huddle in overtime. There's always that one team that's excited, and there's the one team that's got to get over it and get going again.
Well, the Raiders are excited and the fans are excited. Hold that thought, Coach Brown. We're going to take our first break here from TJ Chumps in Huber Heights. We'll be back with more of the Scott Nagy Show when we return. This is Wright State University basketball.
The dreams of Orville and Wilbur climbing up over the silver lining seemed to many a waste of time trying. But before others could find it, the science behind it, the brothers were flying. They might think leaving our feet would be a feat too steep, but not for the dreamers. They might say there's no way, it's better to stay safe, but not for believers. At Wright State, our goal remains central. We are the pioneers of potential.
All right, we are back. Packed house here at the Huber Heights TJ Chumps. Again, a program reminder, Raiders in action next Monday back at home after 3 straight on the road. It's one short game at home against Youngstown State on Monday, and then it's back on the road again to Wisconsin to play Milwaukee and to Green Bay. All right, Coach Nagy, up next it's the Norse of Northern Kentucky, the defending champions, the tournament champions on the Horizon League. All 5 of their starters have started every game this year. It's a very experienced team. Some very tough games against them last year. Challenged them, and they ended up winning all 3 of those games. And Coach Brown was saying, really, you got to deal with that Carson Williams. He is really a matchup problem for a lot of teams.
Yeah, I mean, he's just basically a smaller center. I think that's probably where they would consider him playing. But I think particularly their guards are playing well. They're very long. They're very good defensively and very tough. They're a good rebounding team. I think that John's done a good job of really making his team play hard and play tough.
Yeah, you mentioned their guards and their point guard, a fifth-year senior, Levon Holland. I really think he's the glue to that team. I know McDonald's a great player, and they have other great players on that team, but he seems to be the guy that they look to, especially in close games. He won the game against Oakland with a bucket.
Well, when you have a guard, that handles it and shoots it as well as he does, and then you have a guy like McDonald on a perimeter that can ball screen for him, it really creates problems for the defense. I mean, it's hard to deal with, and there's a number of different ways that you can try to do it, but none of them are particularly great. And any good guard, it's a good ball handler and a good shooter, and on top of it, a very good athlete like he is. Then it just is. You got to do the very best you can and hope he misses some shots.
The North's a very balanced team, but now they're going to have to prepare for a different Raider team because of the way Loudon Love is playing right now and all the other players on your team. It's a little different what they're going to have to deal with from a year ago.
Yeah, and probably the one thing we need Loudon to do better is take care of the basketball. He ends up with a lot of turnovers. I think that he'll probably see some traps from them, and he's not particularly handled traps very well. Sometimes Loudon gets trapped early in the game. I think teams want to trap him early in the game, take away his aggressiveness, and then they can try to play him one-on-one. But he needs to do a better job taking care of the basketball in those trap situations.
Yeah, and if he does, that opens up some things for some other people like your wings.
Yeah, it should. I mean, if you can make a good pass out of that trap, then somebody's going to get a pretty good shot.
He got doubled and triple teamed several times over the weekend, but he handled it better. He did have some turnovers, but he's done a better job as the season's gone on of knowing when he can move right away and when to maybe take the crawl dribble or whatever. You talk about Northern Kentucky, and I think what makes them so difficult is the fact that McDonald can set a ball screen and then pop and flare for a 3. He's their second leading three-point shooter, and you look at him, and I'm guilty of this. He doesn't look that athletic, but he's athletic.
Well, he's very skilled. He's got great hands. Mm-hmm. He's a tremendous passer. He's got a great assist turnover ratio. I mean, he has way more assists than he does turnovers. You look at Loudon. Loudon has, I think, 8 assists and 50-some turnovers. And so, I think that's what makes him so tough. And like I say, when you have a very good guard like that and you have a very good big like he is, that you really can't switch because he's good in the post too. I mean, he's very good in the post. And so when they go to that ball screen action, I would say in our league, those 2 players is probably the toughest ball screen action to cover.
Yeah, because he shoots the ball so well.
Right.
I think we match up with him better this year inside. Last year we had a difficult time with Williams.
Yeah, they beat us up in everything because we played Granite to 4, and they did a lot of high-low stuff. And, we do have better size this year.
I think you're just much better suited because Williams – I was so impressed with how he posted up last year. He reminded me of a Division III, a 6'5" Division III post player who played that position in high school and just knew how to post up. That's how he looked to me in it.
He's a good ball handler. He's shooting the ball better this year. He's not shooting a lot of them, but I think he's 6 for 11 from 3 and 1. So he's shooting the ball better. Last year you could count on pretty much not guarding him on a perimeter. You can't do that with him this year.
Coach, let's talk about something I talked with Coach Merriweather about. Did the men's coaches have an opportunity to see an event at the Little Caesars Arena?
Well, we were all there together. The men's and women's coaches had the meetings at the same time, and so we were there the opening night for the Red Wings, and so we got to sit up there in a suite. It was a great atmosphere and just a beautiful arena without question.
You a hockey fan?
That's the first time I'd ever been to a hockey game, but it was great. Yeah, I think everybody else stood around and talked, and I sat and watched because I was so enthralled by it.
It's a fast game going up and down the ice, and it's a fast game with your team, your offense. I want to get back to way it just looked like Cole Gentry seems to have better control of this offense. There were times where he would be out there and motioning while he was dribbling, telling guys where he wanted them to be. Looks like you're getting more spacing, too, offensively.
Well, you know, we knew it would take a little bit of time, but he's definitely starting to get more comfortable. He's playing an awful lot of minutes for us, and he has great stamina and can really go for a long time. But he's getting more comfortable, and I think he's getting more comfortable taking shots, and which, you know, if he's going to be on the floor and be that size, you better be able to put the ball in the basket.
And go ahead, Coach.
You showed your age the other night when you compared him to Bob Cousy.
Yeah, I know.
But you asked him, though, when we got back to the hotel, and he knew who that was.
Yeah, he did, which surprised me, you
Yeah.
know, because Bob Cousy was, you know, he's been gone for a long time. But he you know, it's something that he can do because he can dribble in traffic and gets away with a lot of times you won't want players to do that. But he particularly the Detroit game. I mean, he went through. They tried to press him and forget it. He was just
that's the nicest thing. I think one of the nice things about having him is we're able just to handle pressure so much better than we could in the past. You know, like Neely for Oakland really pressures the ball. I mean, he does a good job, and you know, it's something that you know wasn't one of Justin's fortes at the point guard, and obviously even Jalen struggled with it yesterday. But Cole, you know, is kind of built better for that kind of pressure.
Rebounding, I know something you wanted to see something a little bit better as far as offensive rebounds. Oakland got a ton of offensive rebounds yesterday.
You know, just here lately, we haven't rebounded the ball like we have in the past, and so I think that you know that has to be a point of emphasis for us this week because Northern Kentucky is a very good rebounding team.
Well, something to keep you down in rebounds has to be making shots. And when this team shoots over 43, 44%, you like to take your chances because of consistently how well you've rebounded this year and also forcing turnovers from the other teams. Of course, 20 turnovers in the win over Oakland. I know you're not real pleased with that.
No, I'm getting a little bit tired of that. You know, we had some foolish ones in that game. And, you know, when you're shooting that percentage, and we're starting to shoot a little bit better percentage, you know, the more you take care of the ball, obviously the more shots you get. It's a little bit frustrating, some of the turnovers that we have.
Well, Coach, we're going to have you hang around for a few minutes. I was just told that the players who are going to be with us tonight, Mark Hughes and Parker Ernsthausen, apparently they didn't get the memo. They went to the Fairborn location, and they're on their way here right now. So hopefully they'll be making their way in here in just a few minutes. I know I heard your interview at the end of the game with Coach Brown, and you could just tell I know you were very satisfied, you know, with the win, and I know for your assistant coaches too. Yeah. And we talk about them occasionally, but I know we need to talk about them more. This is a really hardworking group and a very talented group of assistants that you have.
Yeah, they do a great job. You know, I mean, all the substituting, they do most of it, unless I really get bothered by somebody. But they you know, they keep track of the minutes and they keep people in and out and make a lot of decisions about matchups and things like that, and you know, so that I can focus on some other things. But, you know, their main job really is to recruit and get us good players, and, you know, they work hard at it. They really do.
You know, with the team playing so well, too, a lot of fans energized, too, because, you know, we talk about the 4 recruits that you have already signed for next year. We can get an update right now. I know these guys are playing extremely well right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're really playing well. I had a chance to go watch Skylar Potter down in Bowling Green, and he's a scoring machine, really good shooter. I mean, I think if we put him on our team right now, he'd be our best shooter. And so just a very easy scorer. But the other thing he does really well from the guard position at 6'3", he's a great rebounder. And so 2 things that we love. I mean, there's certainly some things we'll have to teach him about defense and things of that nature. But he's young. He really should be a junior in high school in terms of he just turned 17 in August. And so, you know, I think had he been in high school one more year, I don't know if we would have gotten him. But we feel really good about that. I just got the phone before I came in with Malachi Smith, who's at Belleville, Illinois, and playing very well. His team's 14-1 and ranked 3rd in the state of Illinois. And you know, he's got another really good player in his team. But my dad said that one of his friends saw Malachi play the other day and was very, very impressed with him. And you know, thought that you know, he without question was the best guard in the St. Louis area, and so we feel like we got a good one there. And then, you know, Grant Basili up in the Milwaukee area, Pewaukee, Grant had a game where he had 49 points and 23 rebounds in one game, and he went down at Christmas. They went down to Florida and played in the tournament. He was MVP of the tournament. His team just took their first loss the other night, but it's nice because we're getting kids that are winning games. When you look at Jeremiah Davenport down there at Moeller, and you get these kids from these programs that are used to winning.
That's right.
And it's just so important because they bring that attitude in here. They expect to win, and it's a great thing to be able to recruit kids from winning programs.
They're talking about Davenport. He plays on a winning team, as you mentioned, but there are also some other Division I recruits on that team. But they're saying right now, I've heard some reports down there from people I know in Cincinnati that say he's the best player on that team. He's very versatile.
Yeah, he's probably their glue. I think when you look at it like that, I mean, he doesn't need to score to impact a game. He's a good passer, plays with just a high level of energy, really good rebounder, good defender, great kid, great teammate.
Coach Kramer does a great job, and with him coming in, the tradition from Moeller here at Wright State will continue. You had 4 years of Troy Tadler, 4 years with Grant Benzinger, and Davenport coming in from the Moeller.
Yeah, it's certainly a school that we would like to recruit from because they're always going to have good players.
All right, Coach, we already talked about Northern Kentucky, a little bit, but the rest of this league, and I know you always say you only worry about that next game. You've seen 4 schools already 4-0. It's always tough to win on the road. You've said this before, they pat you on the back, you do well. Mm-hmm. The approach with Northern Kentucky coming up this Thursday, I think everybody knows, they're tied with you for first place. So you can't take anyone lightly, especially on the road.
No, and
you got to forget about what happened.
We're 4-0, that's great, but there's still 14 games to play.
Right.
And so it's hard because you want your kids to enjoy it, and I think that they are, but there's just so much more that needs to be done, and so they walk around and everybody tells them what a great job they're doing, and sometimes you can start to think that you're a little bit better than you are, and you kind of forget to do the things that really got you there, and so just that's why it takes in order to be special. I think you just can't be satisfied. Satisfaction is just the worst thing that can happen to anybody and to a team, and so are we? And we talked about it after the game. Just being able to just be humble about it, just take the win and move on. And still talk to your kids about how proud you are of the way that they're playing. And
they've experienced that ebb and flow up and down earlier this year, and maybe they can use that as experience through the rest of the league season.
Well, I think that they can, but I'll tell you, there haven't been very many games where we've just been awful, and we've been a pretty consistent team. Now, when I say awful, I'm talking about awful effort. There's been some games where we haven't been great offensively, but the effort's been there, and so I think that's the one thing I'm most pleased with these guys.
Well, we understand they've made it. I see Mark Hughes back there along with Parker Ernstausen. The Mark and Park Show is coming up, and Parker, you're going to be first, so we'll take a break, Coach.
I think that I stayed here longer. I should get some of that scholarship money. I don't know.
All right, with that, we'll take a break and be back with Parker Ernstausen here at TJ Chumps at Huber Heights. This is Wright State University basketball.
Please join us for Wright State's annual Arts Gala on March 24th. Enjoy an amazing evening of performances by our incredible fine and performing arts students, plus fine dining and auction items too. All proceeds support art scholarships to help our students succeed. That's Arts Gala on March 24th. For tickets, call or click.
Along with Hall of Fame coach Jim Brown, we are back here at TJ Chumps, and they are here, Parker Ernstausen and Mark Hughes, 2 juniors on the Wright State University men's basketball team. We'll be talking with them over the next 25 minutes or so. I want to thank everybody for coming out again here tonight. Raiders back in action against Northern Kentucky this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And he is a member of the Mark and Park Show, or should I say the Park and Mark Show, something you talked about earlier this year, a couple of juniors on this team, because you're here first, so we'll talk about that. Parker Ernstausen, and Parker, you've got to really be pleased by the way that you and your teammates have been performing here of late.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I mean, obviously, get that win at Oakland. Our class hasn't ever won there before, so that's a good step in the right direction. Obviously, a big one this Thursday. So.
Your mom and dad are just about at every game. Of course, it was a short drive up from the Bowling Green, Ohio area up to Detroit to witness the wins against the Titans and also the Golden Grizzlies. Your mom said at the end of the game, some of the people in Oakland, they were comparing you to Bill Laimbeer. Do you know who he is?
I have the picture in my head, but I don't know a lot about him. Yeah, I guess with the Chargers and stuff, I know he's known for being a pretty physical player.
He was called the ultimate flopper.
Oh, really? I mean, I'll admit I do a little bit of that. Go back and forth. The refs don't call it all, but
well, that's why Oakland was calling you that because they think that's you don't flop. You just stick your head in there and take the charge.
And we were talking about that during the break. I asked you, I said, from the scouting reports, tendencies on the different offensive players that you guard and seeing everybody else on the floor, is that something that helps you get into position by knowing who these people are and what they do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the coaching staff does a great job with the scouting and things like that. So I know, definitely the one I took at IUPUI, I think I had one. We knew that guy was coming back to his right shoulder. So, yeah, that definitely helps. I joke with the guards, especially Marquise, that I just save him a lot. So, that they actually can't guard their man, so I'll come save them. But no, it helps the team out a lot, and that's my role. So
you bring up a good point, but talking about the scouting report, how detailed does that get? Because I've got a follow-up question to that. But how detailed does it get? Particularly when you got two games, you play Friday and then you play Sunday.
Yeah, no, it gets detailed, especially in league playing against, especially Jalen Hayes. I mean, I've played against him 2 or 3 years now. So, you kind of have your own scouting report, how it went last year, and, what the guy likes to do. Obviously, Jalen Hayes is pretty left-handed. So, but Coach Cooley, Sarge do a great job, getting us ready, getting us prepared, even on a short notice like Oakland was.
I watched a replay of that game on the bus, as I said. And
you had a lot of time last night.
Yeah, I did. And they had an interview with Jalen Hayes before the game. The little sideline reporter did an interview, and she asked him the question. She says, well, what do you know about Wright State? What are their tendencies? And she says, well, they spread the floor, and they really don't have a post player.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, they don't have a post player? Well, they have one now.
Yeah.
And
they found out.
Yeah. I just thought, he obviously wasn't listening because that coaching staff knows that Wright State. I mean, he's been freshman of the year 3 times. And
I heard that comment as well. I mean, obviously, you saw the stat line from Big Lou. He's a monster in there. And, I don't think he'll make that comment again.
I don't think so. And neither will, I don't know who it was that challenged Big Lou there. It was a very intense physical game. I mean, let's face it, Parker. I mean, there were a lot of guys just pushing and shoving, but it was consistent, for both teams. And you're going to go through a season where you see that, especially, in league games. But
right.
It got really intense there at the end, and all really Loudon did was just foul. I think it was Jalen Hayes, then somebody else came over, and I'm watching, and I'm thinking, oh, boy, let's hold back because we can't lose him right now. But I think Walker looked up, and he realized he's a lot bigger than me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Big Lou just meant to foul him a little bit, and obviously things escalated. But,
Everybody calmed down.
The refs looked at it, decided it was just a common foul, and, no big deal, moving on.
But the point being, though, the intensity there, and we commented during the game on how this Raider team has a lot of fight in them and a lot of resiliency. If you want to play a physical game, we can play a physical game. You want to play any other type of game, we can do that. But it just seems your guys are playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely, getting Cole back out there. We kind of joke that he's the general out there. He's a little smaller than everybody else. But, he really leads us. And, big-time shot there at the end of regulation. So, yeah, we're playing well.
We talked about the defense and your, being able to get in position and take charges, but let's talk a little offense because last year, 22 points against Oakland.
Yeah. And
you came out and hit some big buckets early for Wright State yesterday.
Yeah, for some reason, Oakland, I'm not the main offensive guy on the team, neither last year or this year, but, they really play off me, so I was able to knock down some shots and it ended up getting some other teammates open later in the game.
The thing that impresses me, not only with you and Mark and the other players, is the confidence that they play with. And I think that's a reflection on the coaching staff. I mean, you go back to the shot that Jalen Hall made against IUPU. A lot of freshmen wouldn't have taken that shot. And then the play yesterday of Everett Winchester and the couple shots Mark made. But shooting a 3 that you shot, you were 0 for 8 out there. And just having the confidence that, some coaching staffs, you take that shot, you're going to get yelled at.
Right.
And you took the shot because you're confident that and you have the leeway to take that shot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I know I haven't made one this year, so every game we go into, guys are joking with me like, is this the one? Is this the one? But I'm just trying to shoot it with confidence. The coaching staff has a tremendous amount of confidence in my ability to play, and so, I'll just keep going out there, and if it's open, I'll shoot it.
But you acted like, hey, no big deal. I can make this. It's not like you ran back there going 3 like this with your finger
To be honest, in my head, I kind of was. I was pretty pumped out that I finally saw one go in.
You were. Yeah.
But tried to play it cool out there and, just get back on defense and keep it going. So the coach staff really would pull me out for that. So.
Well, you had to be rough yesterday. I mean, obviously, by winning it helped because Coach Brown called me, and I was, I drove myself up to Detroit, see some family members up there, too, during the trip, and I was coming back, and he says, our bus broke down, and you guys had to wait on another bus to come back. It took 3.5 hours sitting there, outside the Oakland campus, and watched a few videos. They watched the game, but
Yeah.
thank goodness you won the game. And everybody was still in pretty good spirits.
Yeah, that was crazy. We were about 5 minutes outside of Oakland, and the bus started making some noises, and we're looking at each other like, oh no, this isn't gonna happen. And the guy goes to the back of the bus and is like kind of looking at the engine, and I'm like, oh, please not be anything. We go like maybe 5 more minutes down the road, and the bus is just jumping up and down. I'm like, all right. So he stops it, and they came back and they said, hey, we got to get a new bus. The bus driver has to go get it, and it's 45 minutes away, so it's going to be an hour and a half.
Oh my!
So at least we won. I can't imagine if we would have
Right.
lost, that would have been a even tougher situation. But we actually had another thing happen. We stopped at a gas station on the way home.
Oh, you tell me this.
This is funny.
And most times everybody gets off the bus. Well, this time like Jay Mitch and a couple other guys didn't. They were tired.
Yeah.
And we see the bus driver outside like waving at him on the inside. I'm like, well, that's weird. And he's like knocking on the door and he's calling him. Well, I guess the bus driver had locked the keys inside the car, or inside the bus, so we almost were a little more delayed. But yeah, we made it back about 2 last night, or this morning, I guess, and it's all okay. And in my 4 years, that's the first time we've ever had a bus breakdown. So.
For those who are conspiracy theorists, and there's nothing to this, but I'm just saying, the women's team from Northern Kentucky, their bus broke down in the dock area at Oakland's Arena also.
Yeah,
and it was still there when you left.
Yeah, I heard today from the analyst down there on the radio that both their buses broke down.
I heard that as well.
The men's bus broke down and the women's bus broke down. So something about Oakland.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to look into that. But the main thing is something about Oakland is the Raiders were able to win, that game yesterday, Parker. And for you, personally, again, hey, you've graduated. Your 4-year degree. You're working on grad school now, right?
I know. It's pretty cool. I'm joking with my buddies and roommates, oh, that's just undergrad stuff when they're talking about school. But no, I'm excited to move on to the next chapter academically. Have a little lighter schedule this spring with some online courses, but definitely enjoying it already and kind of getting my nose into that.
What direction are you taking? You're willing to share that?
Yeah, so I'm getting my master's in accounting. So it will give me enough hours to take the CPA. Hopefully next spring after I'm done playing here. So.
Your mom is really excited about that. Your dad too, but your mom really excited about that. When she mentioned the Bill Lambier statement the other day, I said, now wait a minute now. I said, he might be a player like that, but he's not like that off the floor. One of the bad boys for the Detroit Pistons. And she goes, that's right.
Yeah. My mom's pretty fired up. She's proud of me, which, it's great to have her support. But, yeah, she'll tell you all about me at the games if you catch her out after the games. And so just a typical mom. She's the best, but. That's how it goes.
All right, got to talk a little bit about Big Lou. He was the freshman of the week, once again. But he just looks so focused, right now. But he really gets upset with himself when he makes a bad play. And, of course, Coach talked about, limiting of the turnovers.
Yeah, Big Lou, great. I didn't even realize how many points and rebounds he had. You never know after the game. He's a big team guy. So, but, oh, my goodness, 25 and 17. He's only a freshman. Big things to come for him. Inside you can see how hard it is to guard him when we're spaced the floor.
Equally impressive, though, was his free throws. He was 7 for 7 at the line yesterday.
Yeah, that's a big thing for him. He works on that all the time. Coach Chambliss is always working on that with him. So 7 for 7 has to be a huge confidence booster for him, and hopefully he can improve on that going forward.
Practice time is long for everybody, but I've noticed on a few occasions when I've been out there, he stays late, and an extra 30 minutes or so just shooting free throws.
Yeah, Big Lou's dedicated. He really is taking his role seriously after sitting out last year, improving his body, and you guys know the story on that. So, couldn't ask for anything better for him this year, and hopefully he can continue that going forward.
You show any emotion, though, in the locker room afterwards after you won?
Yeah, a little bit. I'd say maybe Cole was the most fired up,
Well,
he was in there bouncing around off of us. But.
He has every right to be fired up. He had a big shot.
All right, Coach, we'll take a break. Parker, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Twice already this year. Hope to see you again, and best of luck against Northern Kentucky.
Thank you. Thanks,
all right,
guys.
The second half of the Mark and Park Show coming up. Junior Mark Hughes is next from TJ Chunks in Huber Heights. This is Wright State University basketball.
Hi, I'm Bob Grody, class of 1976 and former Raiders player and coach. Did you know that once you're a Wright State grad, you're automatically a member of the Alumni Association? As a member, tap into the Wright State Network. Attend a local alumni event, and earn discounts and special offers. Log on to wrightstatealumni.com and make the most of your membership. Thank you, and go Raiders.
All right, back with Jim Brown, and for our final segment, we have junior guard Mark Hughes now joining us. And Mark, we've been talking to Parker, Coach, about the games over this weekend, and We were talking during the break when you got seated here, talking about how exciting it is to win right now. And you look down at the stat sheet, like Coach said, we're talking about Big Lou and Cole hitting a shot and Winchester and everybody else on your team, and you go, Mark Hughes, 19 points, 5 assists, some rebounds, had to defend Kendrick Nunn all day. And it has to be very gratifying knowing that you're able to do the best you can do to help your team win.
Yeah, definitely. My team believes in me, and really my confidence comes from them because they knowing I could do a good job on defense, and them believing in me is really, really all I need, knowing that I could do what it takes for us to win. So
be able to score yesterday too, but you also had the assignment, the tough assignment. Kendrick Nunn, one of the best scorers in NCAA, and you were all over him, but he just hit some tough shots.
Yeah, I mean he's really tough, and he was making shot after shot, and really it's a little frustrating, but I was just staying with it, knowing that he can't make every shot, and that's what everyone was telling me. So I was just thinking, this next shot's off for him. So it was tough though, definitely. He's a good player.
Now, you made the first basket in overtime, correct?
Yeah.
And no hesitation at all.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No, I was feeling really good. We got that jump ball. One of their players dove for it, I think. Didn't get it. It was a 4-on-5, and I just shot faked. He went flying. I was just right at the rim. That was really it.
You heard Parker, he hit that 3 in that game. It's the first time, and, he was going to be really cool about it. But inside he said, hey, I wanted to put up the 3.
Yeah, I already know. I'm really the main one telling him to shoot threes. And I know sooner or later he's going to make one. He's a good shooter, so I know sooner or later he's going to make one. I was probably more happy that he made it than he was. So.
Mark, it was such a tough physical game yesterday, and you weren't afraid. You took the ball inside on many occasions.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We could tell right away that the refs were just letting everything go, so we decided right from then that it was going to be physical, and we weren't backing down from them. So.
Interesting though what you say. So you noticed how the game was being officiated. You're not saying you're negative. You just say, okay, this is the way the game's going to be played. We have to adjust to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we like some of the refs that were there, we knew that they let a lot of things go. And really, we just adjusted quickly to it because those games are always very physical against Oakland, especially in that environment. The refs just want to let us play, so we just adjusted really quickly, and we battled with them. And we're fortunate enough to get the win.
You and your teammates like a game like that?
I do. I definitely like that, letting everything go, because it's a lot easier on defense when you can bump a guy off his line and you're knowing you're not going to get a hand check or anything like that. So it makes it a lot easier for me.
Well, that's a player's perspective. What a coach's perspective on that?
Well, it's the same thing. It's like Coach Nagy said, you're not going to say anything as long as it's fair both ways. What really bothers me, and it bothered me in the Detroit game, it was physical. And then it got down to nitty-gritty time, and Detroit's making a run, and suddenly a guy drives to the basket, and that bump that was okay early is now a foul. And that bothers me a lot. And you see that. You didn't see it yesterday, but you see it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit, it was weird because you didn't really know. It wasn't very consistent to me, but we gutted that one out.
Yes.
That was tough. Really, it was just a credit to Big Lou. Ben's hit some tough shots. He was hot all night, so that was a tough win, but Oakland, that win felt a little better to me. So.
Well, the Raiders are 4-0. You're tied. You have the game with the other team you're tied with in the league. Of course, Youngstown State is 3-0 at this point. Your hometown of Youngstown. But, it's been a few weeks since we've had a chance to talk to you here at the show. And you know where I'm going with this, all right? UIC, Ty Odiase. You took that. I was one of the great. Did Stephen Davis contact you?
Yeah.
I figured he did.
Snapchatted me, texted me, he tweeted at me, all that stuff. That was.
What was that all about? We said, who was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, it was just an in-moment thing. Ben's fumbled the ball. I got it. I was me and him, and I definitely wasn't backing down for him. It was either I was going to dunk on him or he was going to pin that on the backboard. And I dunked on him. It felt really good. Gave it a little flex.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Coach Brown loved that.
Yeah, just a little flex. Nothing too serious, but it felt good. It felt good for sure.
Well, you've done that twice this year, and I've said both times, it takes some courage to do that. And it takes some – a lot of people look at that, and they don't realize – how much courage it takes to have the wherewithal to do that. I mean, you have the athleticism. You got to have some athleticism to do that. But then on top of that, you got to have some courage.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely was a courageous play. But knowing especially he's a shot blocker and really one of the best in the country, and I really wasn't thinking about stuff like that. I was just going at him, really.
The thing I've been so impressed with you this year, Mark, is you're far more aggressive offensively. I mean, like I just said to Coach Nagy earlier, that shot that you made yesterday across from our bench, with down 2.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have taken that shot a year ago. I don't know if you agree.
No, I agree. Definitely
Yeah.
not taking that shot a year ago. Really, it's just being in the gym this summer. That's really all the confidence you need. Just knowing that you can make those plays for your team, and also your teammates, they expect you to make those plays. So.
And I think young players need to understand that it's the work in the summertime. You know, if you don't shoot the ball well, you can't work on that during the season. Yeah, you can work on it, but there's a limit to how good.
Yeah.
It's in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. All your work's done in the summer, and really, we did a good job this summer. We got after it, and guys were making big jumps, and it's showing definitely this season. So
You know, winning obviously helps with the bonding of a team, but this team, we could tell even early on when you got off to a slow start, seemed to have some special chemistry. You know, talk what it's like playing with this group.
It's fun. It's really fun. We all believe in each other. We're really just like brothers, honestly, on the court. And I don't know. I just feel like it's just a little different than last year. We're just believing, and that faith was the driving force for our wins this year. And Coach Nagy talked about a lot in the locker room. You could tell that we believe in each other and we believe in this program, and we're just trying to capture that Horizon League championship.
Don't you think, you know, when you're in high school, you grow up with these kids. You know, they're friends in the 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th, most of them. In college, you don't know any of these guys, and they all come together, and it's a lot more difficult to get what you're talking about.
Yeah, it definitely is. I just feel like with this group this year, like we hang around each other a lot. We're always around each other, whether it's hanging out at one of our apartments or going and doing stuff together. And that bond is special, and it's showing on the court, definitely.
Yeah, it sure is. Absolutely.
Talk about what it's like playing with guys. Like we see them out on the floor, and you know how hard they play. A senior like a Grant Benzinger, you know, Justin Mitchell, the 2 seniors on this team. You know, it's got to be extra special for them because let's face it, you know, that senior starts setting in right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could tell that they're playing desperate right now, and I feel like next year when it's my last year, that you just take it to another level because you know you don't get another one of these, and it's showing Grant's playing really well, and so is Justin. So that senioritis, it's kicking in for him there.
Yeah, but you know, being an underclassman too, that's why you guys want to be able to make it good for them on their final year.
Yeah, definitely. We're just trying to do it for them. Really, it's their last go around, and we're just trying to go dancing this year. So
And it's one game at a time.
yeah,
as Coach
definitely
Nagy
one game
talks
at a
about.
time, and just taking it one game at a time and playing like it's your last, really, every game, and it's showing for us.
You know, you're the best player on your high school team, and when because most people, they don't play defense. I mean, it's a coach thing where you got to sell the players on defense. But you have become a good defensive player since you've been here. And when did that start? Was that your high school coach or?
Yeah, it definitely was my high school coach, Coach Gunther. That was like really one of his biggest things with us is if you didn't play defense, you weren't playing. And he really told me like probably my junior year when I stopped playing football that if I ever wanted to play college basketball, I would have to be a defender. And I took that to heart, and that's really what I'm doing.
Well, you do. I mean, it's like yesterday. I mean, a lot of people will say, well, the guy got 32 points. You're telling me Mark Hughes guarded the guy? Well, I'm telling you Mark Hughes guarded the guy. That guy, he had an unbelievable day.
Yeah.
You just made life difficult for him. And who knows? Maybe those 2 little 12-foot jump shots he missed at the end of the game was a result of him being wore out because you were chasing him
Yeah, I mean,
around.
that dude, Kendrick Nunn, he's a great player, and he makes, like, good players are going to make tough shots, and as long as you're staying with it and you're believing in yourself that you're going to get this next stop, I mean, that's really all you can ask for, really.
You know, you talked about Coach Nagy and how he says he believes. He told us early in the season, he said that, you know, I really believe, you know, in this team. You know, Miami game, the Loyola game, you know, had a chance, you know, to win those early on. But you can see the fight in this team. When do you guys realize that, you know, you really had that type of fight and that you started believing, you know, that you could win and win a lot of games?
I don't know what game I would say, like, specifically it was, but, like, as of late, like, you could just tell how desperate we're playing in games. And I honestly don't know. I don't really have, like, a specific game it was, but the belief is there, the faith is there, and we're playing very desperate right now, and we got a chance to win this thing, and that's what we're trying to do, really.
Well, you're off to a great start, and the opponent coming up, Northern Kentucky, we know last year they had the Raiders' number, beat them 3 times, knocked them out of the tournament in the quarterfinals up in Detroit. They have some really good players. Their starting 5 have played all 16 of their games to this point, so you get to play them on the road. Your team has already proven you can win on the road, but this is going to be a tough contest and a good challenge for your team.
Yeah, definitely. If we can win this game, that'll be huge for us, confidence-wise, and in the standings, just push us further up the ranks. And I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like we got something for them. We got something for him this year.
Well, they have, Levon Holland is an outstanding player. He's a fifth-year point guard, and I really think he's like the glue for their team. And he hit some big shots late as they won at Detroit and Oakland also over the weekend. But, Coach Nagy has said that you and Justin Mitchell are the 2 best wing defenders that he has ever had, and that's saying something for 20-plus years as head coach.
Yeah, definitely. And me and Justin, we got to do a great job on their top wing players. And I feel like if we're doing that, we get McDonald shut down, we got a real good chance of winning. So we'll be ready.
All right. Shooting the basketball, and it's something you said you worked on a lot during the offseason. Mechanics, things like that, you look great out there, but a lot of it has to do with what you think. And having a short memory, can you look at a guy like Grant Benzinger, because he's a guy like, I'll miss 5 or 6, but I'll keep firing him up there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. His mentality is a little different. I don't know, but really.
That's what I hear anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely different. If you ever talk to him, he takes basketball very serious, and the confidence in himself, I use that a little bit, try to give me some of that, but I don't know. Really, it just I don't know. Preparation really is the only thing I would say. If you know you put the time in, then you know that sooner or later your performance is going to show that. And if you don't put the time in, it's going to show as well. So
it just seems like you got here from Ursuline High School in Youngstown State. It's your junior year. You said you senior year coming up. You don't want to wish your life away, obviously. And you enjoy every moment. But what are some of the things that you can do for the younger players on this team? Because you have 3 freshmen that are seeing a lot of minutes.
Really just telling them that taking one game at a time. Those guys like Jalen Hall, he like gets down on himself very easily. Just being a young player, I was the same way. Honestly, you make one mistake, you think you're coming out, stuff like that. But really, I just tell them that just stay with it. Whether you're in or you're out, just how can you help the team? Whether you're on the floor or off the floor, really. And that's probably my best advice for him. Big Lou, honestly. That dude's a handful. He's playing well right now, so I ain't really got to say much to him right now, ever too. But those guys are young, but the future's bright for us, definitely. We got some good young talent.
Well, the future's that next game against Northern Kentucky. And, Coach Brown, he talks about, you all the time. He's one of your favorite players. Coach, what is it so special about this guy that you like?
I just love his attitude, just the way he talked tonight. I mean, just the things he says. I mean, just a really good young man, and I'm glad you're here at Wright State, buddy. I certainly am.
I am too, and I'm being told that I've gone over time, and I apologize for that. We had such a good time. Thank you very much, Mark Hughes. Thanks for everybody coming out here tonight. The Raiders against Northern Kentucky coming up Thursday at 7. We'll be on the air with that on 106.5 FM coming your way at 6:45 on Thursday. For Coach Brown, Mark Hughes, everybody here, thanks for coming out to TJ Chumps in Huber Heights, Wright State University basketball.